Hi there, welcome back to our 6-part series on how to protect your lone workers. Today, we're diving into the topic of existing legislations that tie into lone working. Working alone can come with its own set of risks and challenges, so it's crucial for both employers and employees to understand the legislation that applies to lone workers. Before we jump into the legislation, let's recap on some of the hazards of lone working. Whether they're a security guard, delivery driver, or even working from home, being alone on the job can expose your team to unique risks. Some of these include lack of welfare facilities, violence from the public, medical emergencies, social isolation, and driving related risks. Now, these risks might sound concerning, but it's essential to remember that there are scenarios when working alone is safe. However, employers have a legal obligation to carefully consider the safety of their lone workers before assigning them to such roles. All right, let's get into the legislation that protects lone workers. There are several laws in place, even if they weren't specifically created for lone working. Let's go through 4 key pieces of legislation that apply. First up is the Health and Safety at Work Act 1974. This requires employers to identify risks and implement reasonable measures to ensure a safe working environment. Employees must also be provided with necessary information and training for their safety. Next is the Management of Health and Safety at Work Regulations 1999. These regulations support the Health and Safety at Work Act and focus on risk assessments and procedures to mitigate risks. Under this Act, employers have responsibilities like conducting lone working risk assessments, providing communication channels, ensuring employees can perform tasks safely, and considering medical conditions that may impact lone working. Now let's look at the Corporate Manslaughter and Corporate Homicide Act 2007. This act places the responsibility on employers to maintain a safe working environment. Failure to do so can result in corporate manslaughter charges if a fatality occurs. Senior management must comply with the regulations and provide training not just for lone workers, but also for those managing them. And lastly, the Health and Safety Offences Act 2008. This act reinforces health and safety duties and lays out penalties for breaches. Fines and potential imprisonment await those found guilty of not meeting their obligations. Now, you might be wondering if lone workers have responsibilities too, and the answer is yes. Lone workers must attend any health and safety training provided by their employer, take reasonable care of their own health and safety and those affected by their work with their employers on risk assessments and necessary information, report potential safety hazards, comply with lone working policies, such as using lone working alarms properly, disclose any medical conditions or disabilities that might make lone working unsuitable for them. So what can employers do to ensure they're meeting all these lone worker legislation requirements? Well, it all starts with conducting a thorough risk assessment. If you don't have one already, you can use our 5-step risk assessment guide, which includes expert advice from health and safety managers and guidance from the HSC. And if you have already got a risk assessment in place, take a look at our lone worker policy template. This can help you manage your team's safety moving forward. Links to both of these resources can be found below, and if you're looking for a lone worker solution to add to your control measures identified in the risk assessment, don't hesitate to reach out to our team. We can discuss flexible options tailored to your organisation's needs. Okay, that's it for today's video. I hope you found this information helpful in understanding the legislation that applies to lone working and the responsibilities of both employers and lone workers. If you have any questions or want to share your experiences with lone working, leave a comment below. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next video.